This is a Cycleshell cruiser, and I'm replacing the tent, and wanted to give everyone some tips on doing this. So, the instructions are super complicated, and they really don't have to be. There's basically 4 steps. The most important thing, which is in the instructions, is to label these guys. That basically they all are bolted in here, and you have to label them because some of them are different, and it will just help going back together. The nice thing they do if you get a replacement is that they number the slots. So if you have this guy numbered, you feed it in the right one. I believe they did ask me if I wanted the rods, and I didn't know that they were broken, but what happens is, basically the way they work is these are aluminum tubes that constitute the bottom, and then the arches are these steel rods. So obviously they're not into metallurgy, but dissimilar metals seem to not like each other. So what happens is there's a pin in, well, you can't see it, but they put a steel pin here, which this will feed into here, and it stops at the pin. What happens is that steel pin rots the aluminum, and they crack and break. So I had one totally broken, another one that was partially broken. I tried to do some fiberglass wrap just to reinforce them. Luckily, this stuff is so strong. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't torn it just trying to put it together. So I think we'll be okay. I mean, I'm just trying to get this thing together as soon as it gets dark. You know, time is of the essence. So yeah, the other tip, so basically take it all apart, make sure you label these guys. The steel rods are all the same, so you don't have to label those when you take them out, but when you're putting the steel rods in, well, the first thing you do is, when you get the old one off, follow the instructions and do the aluminum bar that wraps around the front. I actually had to take the rods back out and follow the instructions and do that bar first. You know, screw it all the way around, get it screwed in, and not having those rods in there will allow the fabric to be able to be aligned properly. Then what you want to do is you want to start from the basically from the inside. So you're going to start with the bar that's closest down to the end. I don't know exactly what number that is, and work your way forward. So now I'm in the last steel bar, which is 2 of 3 steels, and then there's an aluminum bar up front. I wish they had made them all aluminum, then they wouldn't have that problem where they're breaking. But here's a tip. You see, look what we got. Let's see if I can find it. There is a seam here. Well, this one's not so bad, but let's see if you can see this. Basically, like, if you see that seam there, it's tough to see it now because it's put together, but basically you have to feed the steel rod in from the left-hand side, left facing forward, which is the way it works. But what you do is, these gaps here, you're going to feed the steel rod in just across the top, and then you're going to feed the aluminum bar in on the lower end, up, and they're going to meet here. So the nice thing about that is you can leave this basically straight, inside out, straight across, feed that aluminum bar, or the steel bar through, across, and then you know, go towards, bend it when you put the aluminum pieces in. But I just found out that it seems like you always feed in through the left-hand side when you're doing the steel bar. Something about the way the seam is here. You see how the left-hand side is going in, and so that would allow it to feed over to the right. So that's just a tip. It's probably in the manual, but that manual is like 10 pages long. It's just a lot of words and doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. But I think I'm going to get it together. Thank you, Cycleshell. It's not a shed; it is a shell. Just joking about the ordinances we have around here, but so I'm going to get this together, and then I can get my dirt bike ordered and move on with my life. And just a tip, I actually ordered this replacement cover in like April, and it took to November to get it. A lot of emails back and forth. Yeah, we're almost there, like we want to get the seams right, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, they were jammed up, I'm sure, all summer, people ordering for the winter. But just order it way ahead of time. You start getting a rip or a tear or something, and then, like I'm saying, is that like this is not an easy job. This is not an easy job. It's going to take you all day. You're going to have a lot of problems with it, and then worse, you could tear this brand new cover, you know. So listen, if it's $500 and you're like, I just don't even want to worry about it, just like send me the assembly. It's $500 more, just send me the assembly, whatever it is. Just take that into consideration also with the time that they have to custom make your cover for your unit, and you're not going to be at the front of the line. So anyway, it's a cool design. I mean, when it works, it's great, and it worked for like 5 years for me, and it's not a shed, it's a shell.